In all societies, laws are required to prevent some people from doing things which harm others. If these laws are broken, a crime has been committed and will need to be punished. The types of punishment have changed over the decades, as have the reasons behind imposing them.
Do we simply want to remove the bad elements of our society, for example by hanging or transporting a criminal elsewhere? Or do we think they can eventually be rehabilitated and return to society as responsible and law-abiding citizens? In this programme, we will be looking in more detail at both the causes of crime and how the attitudes of society to its detection and punishment have changed since 1880.
We will be investigating why the police failed to catch Jack the Ripper, the development of the police force, the nature of punishment, new types of crime, and attitudes in society to crime and punishment. Following the Industrial Revolution, large numbers of people flocked to the inner cities in search of work. This large movement of the population led to crowded city streets and poor housing conditions, which provided an ideal shelter for criminal activity. Conditions were squalid. Unable to find work, many were forced into crime as a means of survival. Urbanisation itself generated fear. The vast numbers of people in the cities meant that, unlike in the countryside, you did not necessarily know your neighbours, and this bred suspicion.
There was a genuine fear of crime in the Victorian era, with much of it fed by the sensational coverage of violent crime stories in the penny dreadfuls, the Victorian equivalent of the tabloid newspapers. In 1888, the murder of a single prostitute wouldn't normally have caused much of a stir. However, the spectre of a serial killer on the loose was a different matter entirely.
A series of gruesome murders in the Whitechapel area of London was simply too gory a story to be ignored, and Jack the Ripper entered the history books. To this day, the murders have never been solved. Why do you think that Jack might have got away with his crimes?